So let's start off. How many of you actually have a fursuit right now, or are planning to get one in the future? Okay. Just about everyone here. Cool. Okay. Awesome. So let's talk about, first of all, reasons why we do this. Why do we want to put on a big fuzzy animal costume? Anybody? Just throw some ideas out there.
Have fun.
Have fun. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Run around and be silly.
Run around and be silly. That's an excellent. Yeah, definitely. Anybody else?
I'm a little shy, so kind of brings on a different character.
Exactly, yeah, that was one of the notes I had, breaking inhibitions, absolutely. Myself included, a lot of people may be very shy or reserved out of suit, but once you put that costume on, it's like you're portraying a character, you're not portraying yourself, so it's definitely another good reason. Any more?
People call you cute.
That's another great reason, absolutely. The performance aspect. Bringing an experience to people that positively changes their day and makes them happy. That's another great reason. I'm sure you've seen that. There's a lot of people not with the convention that are walking through our convention hall down there, so that's great. Also the crafting aspect, especially if you make your own suit, it's the most amazing feeling to be able to wear something that you have personally created yourself. How many of you plan to create your own suit instead of getting one commission? So a good number of you. Yeah, that's great. Fursuits are just amazing wearable works of art, and it's something you can be very proud of, whether you got yours commissioned or you made it yourself. It's obviously a very personal thing to each individual as well. Also self-expression. I'm sure most of us have some sort of affinity for a certain animal, and what's a better thing to portray that in an anthropomorphic way as your character come to life. That's another good reason. Those are all great reasons to fursuit. So if you don't have a suit yet, there are certain things you have to consider about how you're going to get that commission. First of all, the style of the suit. You can get suits of all sorts of different styles, but really there's two major factors, I guess you would say, toony versus realistic. And it's pretty obvious. Like say E8 over there, he would be a toony style suit. The personas always be pretty much happy. The eye style is also key to this, because in toony suits, generally, you can see his eyes are through mesh. They're also fairly large. So the vision is pretty good in your suit, right? Yeah. Most, not all, but most realistic suits, they're made with glass eyes, and the vision is actually through the tear duct. I think yours definitely. So if you see this suit right here, it's a realistic. Yeah, it's very, very narrow field of vision. So if your vision is poor, you might want to consider a toony suit, because I'm sure your vision is pretty tough in that suit. But yeah, also it depends on what you plan on using your costume for. If you plan to go out in public and do a lot of events and stuff like that, parades, festivals, you probably want to lean towards a toony style suit, because that's what people expect when they go out in public. That suit looks awesome, but if you take that out in public, you might scare a lot of people. And yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure that's happened to you.
I just got through doing the Renaissance Festival.
Oh yeah, Renaissance Festival. Absolutely, that'd be appropriate.
They love this guy down there. So.
Yeah, that would fit right in at a Renaissance Festival. Realistic suits will also work in public too. I've seen a lot of positive reactions, as long as it's not really scary, because you're going to be performing around kids in public most likely. So you don't want to scare them off or anything. Also, building versus buying. You covered a lot of people wanted to build their own. If you're kind of on the fence about which way to go, I personally have absolutely no artistic as far as making a suit. I've made like tails and paws before, but as far as there he is. Okay, good. Cool, okay, good. That's QB Line, he's from Vegas. He's going to help one of you guys get into suit later, and we're going to do some demonstrations. So, all right, glad you made it. But yeah, as far as building your own, as we said, crafting something you created from scratch is just a tremendous sense of accomplishment that for you to be able to wear that. I would recommend, if you're any sort of artistically inclined, or you're short on funds, I would recommend trying to make it yourself. It might not work out, but at least you can say that you tried it. A lot of my friends have done it, and they're actually fairly successful now. They've been making their own suits, so I'd say just definitely give it a shot. There is a large network of fursuit builders out there in the fandom that are really willing to help you out too. Because don't feel like you're taking on this big project all alone. You have to learn everything from scratch. There's forums all over the internet. It's not so active now, but there's a live journal, Fursuit. People exchange ideas and critiques all the time. And also my friend Matrices, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of her. She lives up kind of near the Seattle area. She has a great tutorial on the internet on matrices.net. She will cover every aspect of building your own suit pretty much from scratch. And it's very detailed, and she's got videos. So if you're looking to build your own suit, I highly recommend you trying that out as well. Also others in your area. If you live anywhere near a major city, I'm sure a lot of local furs are also building their own suits, and maybe you can have like a craft night and exchange ideas. It's a good community, a good resource for you to try out. I also have another recommendation. Try not, a lot of people have told me this, don't make, for your first fursuit, if you're going to build it, I would recommend not building your fursona character for your fursuit, because you're going to generally you're not going to be happy with the results. Anything is, building a suit is a learning process. It takes many, many suits and years to perfect your craft. So I would recommend building just a generic suit or someone, not your own character, as your first one, and then as you get more experience with it, then you can maybe try build your character. So let's see. Also, okay, now if you want to buy or commission your suit, I've been in the fandom for not really that long in the scheme of things, since 2008, and even since I joined the fandom, there has been a huge explosion of talent in the fursuit building world. I mean, literally, there's probably over 100 fursuit makers out there that are willing to make your costume come to life. And so what I would do is I would really spend the time and research different styles. Most of them have websites. So you want to go to all the websites and see design and make sure which design really fits your character. Because some are better at toony, some are better at realistic, and everything in between. So just do your research. And also you can spend anywhere from $600 to well over $3,000 for a full suit. So if your budget is a priority, be sure to factor that in. Let's see what else here. If you want to go with one of the bigger name makers, I'm sure a lot of you know this, you're probably going to be in for a long wait. The more well-known makers out there have up to a year, sometimes a little bit more. My new suit from B-Scub I had to wait about 6 months for, so expect at least that long wait if you want to go for one of those. Also, if you're going to commission a suit, you need a very detailed reference sheet that shows, you can get those online. Pretty much any artist will commission a ref sheet. Make sure you have front and back and any special markings that you have or you want on your suit. And also, you're going to have to make a duct tape dummy. How many of you have made a duct tape dummy before? Yeah, well, a lot of you. Wow, surprising. Most good fursuit makers will require a duct tape dummy instead of just measurements, because a duct tape dummy is really just a mold of yourself. And in order to get your fursuit to fit exactly right, you're going to have to do that. It's quite a process, but there's tutorials online to do it. And so it's definitely something. Okay, now QB. Okay, we're gonna have has anyone here never put on a fursuit before that wants to try? Oh, okay.
Wait, put your hands down back there. Put your paws down.
Okay, let's. Is that one? Okay, that one's probably it'll fit a little different. Let's go with you right in the front there. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna. That should fit, right? That should fit. Cyrix. Okay, we have Cyrix here, and QB is going to put Cyrix into what's the character's name?
Wolfie.
Wolfie. Okay.
Yeah. So we need to move off.
Yeah.
Can you kind of go off to the side a little bit? Yeah.
I can hear it.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so next section is preparing your body for fursuiting.
Just jump.
Who can name one of the most important things to do before you fursuit?
No,
Yes.
this is hydrate.
Hydrate, exactly, yes. Fursuiting, it can get up to 120 degrees inside one of those. It's very, very important to make sure you're hydrated before, during, and after when you suit. Also, what you wear is extremely important and is often overlooked. I have some examples here. This is Under Armour. It's called compression. The basic name for this is called a compression shirt, and what it does, this is not actually Under Armour, it's kind of a knockoff, but it's almost as good. But what it does is, it keeps you cool. It actually wicks the sweat away from your body instead of say you were wearing some cotton. You never wear cotton when you're fursuiting because it's gonna just make you hot and miserable. Because the cotton will soak up your sweat like a sponge. It's not a good place to be. So definitely invest in some of this. And also there's either a balaclava or a Under Armour skull cap like this to keep the sweat out, because that's one of the worst feelings when you're in a fursuit head, is the sweat dripping down in your eyes. All of a sudden you can't see. And sure, yes.
Where do you get those?
Which one?
The
The headgear. I actually got this online from a website. I think you can get them off Under Armour's website, but I go to a site called sportsdepot.com. They offer free shipping on all Under Armour stuff, so this is actually
A lot of local outdoor clothing stores will have them as well.
Yes, sporting goods. You can find them at pretty much all sporting goods stores as well.
They're also really actually easy to make. There's a lot of features you can make. It's really easy.
Yeah, you can make. Yeah, definitely make these yourself. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. Also, there's compression shorts too. Those are very good to keep cool. Some of them go down to about your knees, but some of them there's the full leggings too. I'd highly recommend those as well. Let's see. Can I bring that? Let's see. Yes, I did. Okay, fursuiting with glasses. I actually can't wear contacts, so I actually have to wear glasses inside my fursuit head. And a lot of people have said, oh, that's not possible. They'll fog up or whatever. But I have found a solution. It's called this stuff called Parker's Perfect. I've tried a lot of anti-fog solutions, and this one works by far the best. So if you need to wear glasses in a suit, this is the stuff. It's only available online. I think it's parkersperfect.com. But you just spray both sides of your lens and then wipe it dry, and you're good for pretty much your whole session. Make sure when you get your fursuit built or commissioned that you tell the maker that you have glasses, so you're going to need an extra inch or inch and a half in front of your eyes to make room there. What else here? Fursuiting is a workout. People do not really realize that, especially if you go full out. You need to stretch before fursuiting, or so you're going to definitely feel it the next day. Especially if you have a long session. Don't overlook that, because heard people feel pretty miserable after a long session, and they can barely move the next day. Just treat it like you're going to go into the gym. Stretch out your muscles, your legs, and everything. And take regular breaks, especially when you're first starting out. A lot of people, especially if they start doing public events, and they go, oh, I can go out for 3 hours, I'll be fine. Not so much if you're not used to it. Wearing one of these is as you heard, probably wearing a mattress, wrapped around, or 2 blankets, whatever. It can get very tiring. Make sure you take regular breaks and hydrate before, during, and after. Let's see. If any of you have anything to add or comments or questions as we're going, please do butt in. Okay, we're going to do some simple performance, basic performance stuff now. Okay, we have transformed Cyrix into Wolfie, I think. So, all right. Okay. So how do you get into your character? What's the mindset? A good way to do it is to, when you form your character, have a backstory for him. Really get into your character's personality. What is he like? What would you have for breakfast? Stuff like that. Just and also watch cartoons. As simple as it sounds. Just watch cartoons, and obviously you can't exactly mimic a cartoon where everything goes, but just also have that as a goal in mind. To be that animated. Big, broad gestures when you're performing. There's of course exceptions if you're in a crowded street fair or in a hospital. You don't want to, knock kids upside the head. But anyway, you want to make yourself as big as possible. That's why you're putting on a big fuzzy costume. You're not doing it to be shy. So we're going to practice some expressions now. You can join in, sing them if you want to. So, okay. Any fursuiters? Yeah, come up. Yeah, please.
Holy cow.
Wow. Lying bone. Okay.
What is going on?
Whoa. Okay, we'll do.
Wow.
All right. Okay, good. That should be plenty. All right. We'll do a simple one first. Pretend you're happy. Let's see, a happy expression. Bouncing around, arms up in the air. Yeah. Okay, sure. No tripping on your own shoes. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's do sad. Can you Now this is kind of a tough one because these fursuits, most of them, the toony ones, are always showing a happy expression. So how do you show sadness? Yeah, you cover that mouth because the mouth is, the muzzle is what expresses that. So cover that and also get lower. It's also, posture is very important in fursuit performance and getting the right emotions out. Yeah, that's a good sad. Yeah, hunch the shoulders over. Let's do, okay, last time we did this one, table broke, so I'm kind of worried. Okay, surprised. You're surprised. You're shocked. Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, kind of jump back. There you go. Nice. Okay. Okay, now this was a little more difficult. How about scared? You're scared. Yeah, kind of cower back. Yeah, get lower, definitely. Yeah, I like that shake. That's very good. The shaking of the knees. That's excellent right there. Scared. That would be good for nervous as well. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Can anyone else has any suggestions for expressions we can try? What's a tough one that we could do? Challenge them a little bit.
Shy.
Oh, okay. Like reprimanding someone, or okay, let's do shy. Okay, yeah, that's good. I like. Yeah, right here, you're kind of shy, kind of unsure of yourself. A good one would also be to hide behind something to show shyness. Either hide behind a handler
Or someone.
Yeah, someone. Yeah, and this is also, I was going to talk about this a little bit later, but this is also great when you're performing in front of kids because a lot of them it's really hard to win them over, but a good way to do it is also to pretend that you're kind of scared of them. Kind of hide behind your handler and definitely get down to their level. And once they see that, you're this harmless, cute creature and you're kind of scared, most of them will open up to you. So, okay, that's great. Let's see. Okay, my next point was interacting with those around you. Definitely,
There is one
that's.
thing that I'd like to note.
Oh, sure, yeah.
You see, it's not something that people really recognize at first. You see, mostly the paws are up, except for your first person who's got his paws down. A lot of people don't realize when they first start shooting is that they just kind of have their arms down.
That's a great point. Yes.
Something
Yeah.
that you fursuit is usually having your paws up, not only just to be able to move and stuff, but just because it makes you look more visible. Here I am.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, your paws are huge as far as your performance goes. And yeah, definitely keep those paws up, keep them moving for sure. Yeah, because your arms at the sides. It's you don't want to be a mannequin when you're in sea. So definitely keep your legs too.
Is there a fight going on here?
All right.
If you want to go play Street Fighter, go do it.
Thanks a lot, guys. Can I have at least some of you sit back down so I can? It's gonna get a little crazy up here. Okay, let's give a big hand to our fursuit volunteers here. Really appreciate it. Okay, interaction. Props are great for interacting with people. My character is a lion, so I got this plush zebra leg commissioned from Major C. She does great. The handle actually squeaks as well. And anyone else have props? What? Cell phone?
Oh, somebody dropped their cell phone?
Oh, someone dropped their cell phone. Okay. No? Oh, that's your
That's
cell
yours.
phone. Okay.
This is a nice prop for communicating with people.
Does anyone else have props that they use they can talk about? Yeah. Oh, fire. Okay. Fireballs. Okay, yeah, this is not really a prop, but yeah, if your character has a kind of a shtick, like they like to hand out candy or whatever that's in relation to what your character does, yeah, that's also good. I see a bone back there. Those are great. Especially if you're a dog, it makes sense, right?
I have an acorn being made.
Plushes are good. What's that?
An acorn?
I have an acorn being made.
Nice.
Acorn beanbag. There you go. So I assume are you
It's a beach ball,
Oh, beach ball. Okay.
and they're crafting the acorn out of it.
Oh, right on. That's very unique. Awesome. And I see a sword, a Minecraft sword here. Yeah, those are. Okay. And I see that's a panda costume, right, QB? And as you can see, there's a kind of an Asian Oriental hat that would fit great on a panda. Yeah, even made for the ears. Yeah, anything like that is good. I see a ball over there.
You can split for great.
Yeah, there you go. Anything that adds to your character and makes you more visible. Let's see. So say you were a husky and you are a superhero in training. That's your character story. Well, it would make sense for you then to wear like maybe a cape, and people would ask you about that, and it would make sense. So, just little things like that. Also, oh yeah, squeakers. Don't overdo the squeakers, please. A lot of people, you know, kids like them, but if you hear this all the time, it's overuse and it actually ruins the effect. So use them in moderation and at certain times, and it's very successful. Okay, let's do a couple more demonstrations. How about EA? Let's get you up here for this. Okay, so say you're out fursuiting in public, and you are walking across the street. It's a busy intersection, say downtown Seattle or downtown Reno or wherever. Just walk across the street, really boring. Like, what would be a bad way to walk across the street? Yep, that's pretty good. Pretty boring, as you can see. He's not really doing anything. He's swinging his arms a little bit, but really no motion there, no gesturing. Okay, now you do it really excited, how you would do. How would you walk across the street in a busy intersection with a lot of onlookers? There you go. Yeah, we got a little swagger.
Luckily, acting ball.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, basically, it would be good to also maybe wave to people, and I'm sure people are going to be staring at you. That's a given.
Honking horns.
Yeah, wave. Yeah. We're definitely going to get some horns there.
Nice wave. Very nice.
Yeah, that was good.
You got the swagger in there.
Yeah.
The queen.
Okay, we're going to do now a vision demonstration. Now, I see a lot of different... Okay, let's do you first, and then we'll do Wolfie there. Okay, so a lot of people may or may not realize fursuiters have a very limited field of vision. Part of it is because of this blind spot here. So a lot of people actually have to look through only one of their eyes. I'm sure, is that... Okay, so we're going to... You tell me when you can see my hands. Oh, you can? Okay. Right there. That's actually not too bad. So you can see, I don't know, I mean, as humans, we can see nearly 180 degree around us, but, so his vision is actually pretty good. So someone, how about, let's get you up now. Let's see your field of vision and your tear duct eyes. Okay. So as you can see, he has to look through the tear ducts in below his eyes. So let me know when you can see my hand.
Oh, jeez.
Can't see my hands yet?
Nope.
I can't stretch anymore, so now. So yeah.
From here over, I'm blind.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. So if you see suitors, constantly looking down, it's not, a lot of times it's because they can't see and they're trying to see their surroundings. So, yeah. And also not only the field of vision sideways, but also looking down because you see this muzzle right here. You can't see below that. So, yeah, it's definitely tough. Something to keep into consideration. Let's see what else we're talking about here. Okay, now that gets into my next point. When you are fursuiting in a public setting, what's the most important thing you need to have with you?
Spotter.
A handler, yes, especially when you're first starting out. At a convention environment, we're more or less each other's handlers. It's good to have a handler anywhere, but we kind of understand how it is here. But in public, it's a whole different world. So definitely have a handler. Let's see. Just basically, handlers are your eyes and ears. They look out for any pitfalls, dangers. Say you're walking about and there's all of a sudden the curb drops and you're not going to be able to see that if you're just walking forward. So it's up to the handler to make sure that the fursuiters that they're taking care of are aware of that. Yeah, this is a good example. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, that's good. And also, yeah, chairs and also say there's a lot of kids that want to interact with suits. Say you're at a park or something. You're not going to be able. Yeah, they're going to run up to you. Maybe pull your tail. You get that a lot, I'm sure. And also, the fursuiters have to be able to. There you go. Yeah. That's not a good thing to do to a kid. They don't bounce as well as we want them to bounce. You don't want to kick them. Yeah. But okay. Oh yeah. A lot of the kids you won't be able to see because they're maybe about here on you, so it's up to the handler to make sure, hey, this kid wants to interact with you, so you're not just leaving them hanging. Okay, now, where to perform. I'm going to talk more about this at my panel. I have a Sunday panel called Fursuiting Beyond the Con, and I'm going to go to this in much more detail. But when you're first starting out, where to perform in public? Well, I mean, something you have to consider is who is your target audience. You know, if you want to perform, you know, mainly at cons, you know, that's great. You know, you don't have to go out in public in your fursuit. But if you do want to go out in public, a good place to start is maybe like a public park or something. You don't want to go to like a mall or anything because those are actually private property. Even outdoor malls are private property, and probably 90% of places will ask you to leave if you're not there prearranged. You can just go out and take a stroll downtown in your, say there's like a strip mall or something. You just kind of walk down the street. That is generally okay without being prearranged. But yeah, just go out there and have fun with it, and you know, you don't want to do anything too crazy. Since this is the Newbs panel, you're first starting out. But yeah, kind of get used to your costume, for sure. Oh, I skipped over a section, I'm sorry. A great way to practice your expressions is to, in front of a mirror, or also on video, because you really, when you first get your suit, you really don't know what it's going to look like until you put it on and start doing your expressions. So, you know, just take the time and practice. You know, a good way to before you go out or before you do anything really is to make sure you know where your body parts are. So, know where you're. Do like a head, shoulders, knees, and toes thing. It sounds silly, but really it's helpful because the nose on your character is not where obviously your human nose is. It's in a different spot. So you have to, yeah, that's a good practice to do before you go out. Yeah, and tails as well. Yeah, your tails. Definitely got to keep that under control as well. Let's see, where to... Okay, let's go on to the next section now. Any more questions about getting into character or performance?
Don't forget your exit points.
Exit points, yeah, that's more of a Fursuiting Beyond the Con, but yeah, definitely if you're going to go out, make sure you have a place to change, first of all. I mean, parking lot is not ideal, but, and again, yeah, that's more of a stuff we're going to talk about on Sunday for the Fursuiting Beyond the Con. Also, yeah, be sure you know your exit points. I'm not sure what's going on there, but we are, okay.
Just trying it out.
Okay, fursuiting, let's talk about some fursuiting etiquette here. Okay, to talk or not to talk in fursuit. This is a highly debatable point. No, I'm a fairly traditional fursuiter, so I do not talk in costume. And I actually have found that a lot of people that do that, it actually comes off very unnatural, and people have been honestly freaked out by a human voice coming out of a non-moving or static jaw. Yeah, it really can freak people out, and it definitely breaks the illusion of the character.
Hello, little girl.
Okay, but I think it can be pulled off, and I have seen it pulled off very well. Now, there's two keys to pulling it off, being able to talk in suit. One, you have to have at least a decent movable jaw that moves with you. If you can move with the character, then you can definitely pull it off. And also, don't use your human voice. You need to create your own voice for the character you're performing. And this, if you're looking to get into voice acting or try, this is a great exercise to develop a character voice for your character. Say, you know, you're a mouse or a rat, you know, you want to make a little bit of high squeaky voice, right? And of course, I'm sure a lot of you have heard like the character Buddy. He does a great fursuit voice himself. It's very unique. When you hear it, you know it's him. Yeah, stuff like that. Okay, so let's talk about now, when is it okay to take your costume head off? Now, my general rule is if you're in public, it is really never okay because you're going to absolutely kill the image of your character, and you can really, what's the word I'm looking for? If you do it in front of a kid,
You're going to scare the hell out of that kid.
Yeah, I'm looking for a word. I can't think of the word. Scar them for life, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, don't do that. Of course, in a case of a medical emergency, just do that so you don't die in suit. That would be a very unpleasant way to die. But as far as like maybe in a convention environment, I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. There's a lot of people in the, not in this section, but in the the hall past the door here, there's a lot of people going through that are not with the convention, and there's been a lot of kids going through. I don't know if you've noticed that. And I have seen a lot of fursuiters pop their head off right in front of the kids, and it's a little bit, disconcerting to me that they're doing that, because they're really ruins the illusion of character. So I really advise you not to do that. If you need to take your head off, duck around a corner, or at least someplace private, somewhat private. But yeah, let's see. Okay, fursuiting around kids. We'll talk about this a little bit. Now, there is a right and a wrong way to approach kids when you're in a costume. But can someone show me the wrong way to approach a kid? Like, say,
Running up to him.
say I'm a kid and I'm like, whoa, fursuit. What is a really bad way to do it? That's not the way to do it. That's not exactly what I was looking for, but yeah. Yes, this right here. This is what I was looking for. Yeah, a lot of fursuiters, they're gonna think, oh, it's a kid. I want to run up and hug him like this. No, don't do that. Sure, you're excited to interact with them, but don't, because you're this big hulking thing to them. If you run up to them with your arms, like you're gonna really scare them.
As strange as it sounds, think about them like a dog sometimes.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
And they will react the same.
That's actually a good point. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, you wouldn't do that to a dog. A dog would be very protective and angry that you would do that. So yeah. Let's see what else. Definitely get down to their level, especially the younger set, especially if they're not really sure about you. Definitely get down to their level and act really cute, and offer them a hug, or even if they're not going to hug you, just kind of offer them your paw, and maybe they'll kind of slowly. Yeah, that's a good way to do it too. And if they're really scared of you, like they're starting to cry or etc. Cry back. Exactly. That's great. Pretend that you're scared of them as well, and they're like, oh, maybe this isn't so bad anymore. And a lot of them, you can win a lot of kids over that way. And another good way is a lot of the younger kids will be with their parents. If you interact with their parents, then the kid will be like, oh, okay, this is not so bad anymore. And then they'll be much more open to interacting with you, because the mom will be like, oh, look, it's a friendly character. He's friendly and he's okay. Yes, another good tip. Okay, last thing about fursuiting with kids, never take an infant in your arms. You will get that a lot. They're going to ask you to hold, their kid for a photo or something. You don't want to be liable with your fursuit paws should something happen. As again, we discussed, babies don't bounce very well. So, can't quite dribble them like a basketball, but yeah, just be very polite about it. You don't want to really talk into, but just make sure you make it very clear that you don't want to take their kid, but you can maybe pose in a different way for them. Okay, so that's about it for etiquette. How are we doing on time here? Okay, we got about 15 minutes left, so we're good here.
It's okay if you go over. My panel's going to be a little bit late, probably.
Oh, okay, cool, no problem. Yeah, I think we're doing all right on time here. Basic suit care. Okay, we'll talk about taking care of your fursuit here. A fursuit, as you know, is a major investment, whether it's the money or the time that you put together to make your suit. And it will last much longer if you take good care of it, just like anything of value. Washing your suit. I found the best way to wash your suit, like say after a convention and it's full of funk and stuff like that, you put it in the washing machine in the gentlest cycle that you have with mild detergent. The spin cycle will take pretty much all of the water out. Yes?
Fur out or inside out?
Oh, yeah, I was just going to get that. You definitely want to put when you put it in the machine, the fur should be on the inside. Yeah, because that'll really, yes?
How do you keep the fur from matting? Because if you put one of these guys in the washing machine, they'll look awful.
Yeah, that's actually turning the fur inside out will help with the matting. Yeah, because it's, you want the backing of the fur to be exposed to all the rigorous spinning of the washing machine. Yes?
Actually, I kind of want to just sort of disprove that myth.
Oh, sure.
When I wash my suit, I put it fur side out.
Oh, you do?
But when I go to a washing machine, I use a tumble washer, not a spin washer, tumble washer.
The traditional ones, the uprights, they will definitely mat your
Yeah,
fur.
that'll definitely mat,
Yeah.
and it also pulls out some of the fur if you put your fur side out. So if you're gonna do any sort of washing, it's best to actually use a tumble washer.
Okay, yeah, I've only used the traditional style
Yeah, I
washer, so
think
that's a good
it's
point. Thank you. Yes.
A lot of the newer suits, especially if they got the airbrushing, they'll tell you don't wash them at all.
Yes, that's a good point. If you have airbrushing on your suit or anything that could, bleach out, don't use it in the washer for sure. Yeah, did you have a question, Mike? Yeah.
That was
Oh, that was okay. Yeah.
What do you think about garment bags that hold the big mesh bags? Sometimes they help with being banged up, nicked around, or bills with if you have it.
Oh, put it like in the washer in a garment bag. I've actually never done that. I've never really heard of that. Has anyone else done that?
No, never have.
Never.
Think about that. This is something
Yeah.
recommended.
Well,
I actually wouldn't recommend using the garment bag for suits. Although when you use them for garments, the material can still wash pretty well. Suits are very thick material, so if you put them in the washer, they may not actually rub against, they use a rub against, process when you put it in a washing machine, and it may not rub as well to get all that dirt out of your suit.
Okay.
So you may want to do, like you said, gentlest cycle that it's on the machine. You want to use either warm or cold water.
yeah, cold.
Definitely
Cold's
not
actually-
hot.
I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, don't use hot water. Any heat will. Your fursuit is basically the faux fur on your fursuit is basically plastic. So any kind of heat will damage it. You definitely want to use cold cycle. Once it's done, you want to then turn the fur like that. The fur is on the outside, and definitely as soon as you take it out of the washer, hang dry and put it on a fan. And as it's drying, you should definitely brush it out so the fur doesn't mat. Now I'm going to show you a technique here. Now this is a fur brush, just a general pet fur brush. Now a lot of people will brush the fur regularly as it's supposed to, against the grain, and that'll really, this faux fur is fairly delicate, and doing that will actually damage the backing of the fur. So what I would recommend is I would do it backwards, so it's going with the grain. It's a lot, you get pretty much the same effect, but it's much gentler on the fur and will leave the fursuit less damage. So it's a good tip. Yes?
Sorry, I'm just helping out.
No problem, please.
Another brush to use instead of a fur brush, because like you said, if you use the other side, it will pull out the fur. If you go to a Food for Less or Foods Co., whatever is I'm not sure what region you guys are from, so whatever region is, that is same to Food for Less or Foods Co. I think also CVS Save-On. If you go to the As Seen on TV aisle, there's going to be a black and green and detangling brush. The bristles are plastic and they're really easily movable. They're $14, a little bit expensive, but they're a lot more easier on your suit. And they barely pull any fur out. He uses it too.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of that product. I've never actually used it myself, so that's good.
It's very delicious.
For it. Awesome. Okay.
There's another one which is it's a pet brush, but it's not necessarily detangler, but it's plastic and it's made for when you're actually washing long-haired dogs, and it just kind of grooms, and it's just like not even a comb, it's a pad with a bunch of different little things on it, so that when it goes, it just starts to break apart mats and things.
Oh, good. Yeah, that would be really useful if you had longer pile fur, for sure. Yeah, excellent. Good. Okay, let's talk about. Just skip something here. Oh yeah, never put your fursuit in the dryer, ever, even on fluff air setting, because you just never know what's going to happen. I'm sure a lot of you have heard the Matrices story. What happened to one of her suits, Smuggled Tio? I believe she was at a laundromat, and someone had put the bodysuit after it was done washing into the dryer on high heat, and it melted pretty much. So she had to remake that bodysuit. So just don't even take a chance with it. Definitely air dry it on a fan. That's the best way to do it.
I'm not going to tell you how to either.
Yeah.
Nope,
Yeah.
that's my secret.
Washing your head. Now this is a little tougher because you definitely don't want to put your head into the washing machine. How I do my head is I just spot clean it with some mild detergent and water. Definitely after every use, I was going to get to this in a little bit, but you want to use some Febreze. This is the best kind of antimicrobial with the orange label on it, because that'll actually kill the bacteria that causes odors. The other Febreze just kind of masks the odor, but this is the best. There's also other things you can use. I've heard some not good things about N-Back. It's a little bit too strong. It's kind of industrial strength, and that if you breathe that, it's going to do some harm to you. So this is really benign stuff, but it'll actually do the job. Yeah. I actually don't. Yeah, I've heard vinegar is good for cleansing. Yeah, a lot of people are allergic or will have reactions to this. So yeah, definitely look up some ways to use other natural products to clean your suit as well. Yeah, in the back.
50% water, 50% rubbing alcohol, and
Yeah.
a few drops of essential oil. Spray that
Okay.
all over the inside and let it dry. That does wonders.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Yeah, so rubbing alcohol definitely that will kill the bad stuff and essential oil to make it smell good. Yeah.
Yes, some of my friends, rainforest, pointed out to me that what they noticed with and back very much so, and Febreze to a lesser extent, is that it does not like the urethane foams that you make in your head.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
it in your head? It might dissolve that. So they recommended the isopropyl alcohol as well. They say that it doesn't
okay.
dissolve the foam.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, if you have foam in your head, you definitely don't want that degrading. And some of the chemicals, I don't think Febreze will do that. NBAC probably would. Yeah, so you don't want to use that.
They were having some problems. It took a number of years for them to notice it, but after like 3 years, they're like, oh, this stuff is degrading my head.
Right. Yeah, it's not going to happen right away. It's going to be an overtime process, continually.
I've had pretty good results with the isopropyl alcohol. I don't have a suit that I can really wash, so spraying it down, brush it, let it kind of air out. It seems to work pretty well.
Good. Okay, let's talk about some your fursuit. Even if you take really good care of it and it's constructed very well, holes are going to form along the seams. So do periodic spot checks of your suit, like maybe every couple outings or so, and be sure if you see a hole forming, just sew it up. Hand sewing is really simple. It just takes not a lot of time. And I would definitely use thicker thread. Like I use quilting thread myself, and that'll make it hold up a lot better. Definitely patch those holes up in your suit because they'll only get worse with neglect. And the worst thing you want is to be out performing and all of a sudden, whoop, there goes the seam. So definitely take care of that. Let's see what else. Degrading the bottoms of your paw, the feet paws will degrade. Yeah, they will degrade the fastest out of any part of your fursuit. So there's a lot of different ways to make them. My fursuit. Like, okay, you see this suit right here, his bottom of his foot paw is basically just the rubber sole of the shoe, and that won't degrade that fast. But are yours made of felt, by any chance? My first suit, the bottom was completely felt, and I had to refelt it every like 6 months or so. Yeah, see, a lot of these paws are actually shoes, so that's actually okay. Because that won't degrade any faster than a regular shoe. There you go. That's a felt bottom. So you have to refelt that quite often, right?
I actually haven't had to refill. So really good. It's high quality.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, if it's high quality, yeah, should last longer. Be sure to check that. Let's see, storing your suit. Don't just toss your fursuit into a corner after you use it. Be sure to definitely. What I would do is I would hang it up in a closet that's more or less room temperature. Keep it away from the sun. Again, any sun, any heat, direct heat, will not only bleach out the fur, but it will, if you don't wash it, the warmth will breed bacteria and mold and mildew, and that is not the stuff you want in your suit because it's very, very difficult to get that out of your suit. So definitely after you get home from the convention, be sure to give your suit a good washing and take care of it by hanging it up and drying it properly. It will last you a lot longer that way. Yeah, don't keep your suit in the car during the summer. That's pretty much the same deal. Although it might not be direct sun, you're still exposing it to that heat. That will damage the fur. And just basically use common sense with it. Protect your investment. Like if you spent a lot of money on the car of your dreams, treat your suit the same way because it's the worst thing you want is it to be ruined and you have to either get another one or do a lot of expensive repairs to rebuild it. So just use common sense with it and protect your investment. That's pretty much all I had. Does anyone else have any questions? I think we got about 5 minutes left. Yeah, we got about 10 minutes left actually. So.
Teddy bear cleaner. Is there any point in actually using teddy bear cleaner?
I've actually never used that. Has anyone else used teddy bear cleaner on their suit? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, couldn't help with that one. Yeah, there's.
I do a little bit of the plushies, got a lot of those. Again, isopropyl alcohol can't stress them out.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that sounds like a safer alternative to like the Febreze and stuff.
Alcohol will evaporate off. It's a lot of what the teddy bear cleaners and other cleaners are. Is mainly
the base is the alcohol.
It's just a weak solvent. It's like an alcohol. It's mainly what you're buying. Everything else is just really smell and flavor after that.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
I
that sounds like
recommend it. That's what I use to clean all the plushies and the fursuits. And I've had really good results.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it sounds like a lot safer. If you have any allergic reactions to this stuff, yeah, definitely just alcohol and maybe some natural, like essential oils. Those will be harmless to you. So yeah, in the back.
I have a question about kids.
Yeah.
The last time I went out downtown, there was this woman with her little kid and
Uh-huh.
she was screaming, crying, and didn't want to be anywhere near me, so I was protecting her.
Yeah.
But the mother was pulling the kid toward me and insisting, like, come on, come say hi, come give him a hug, even though the kid was not into it at all. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, that's a pretty tough situation. I've had that happen a couple times. If they absolutely will not interact with you, you can try to win them over, but if they're like, as you described, kicking and screaming and crying and they're being forced to do it, just kind of slowly back away. Or the best case, if you have a handler with you, just have the handler explain to the mom you don't want to force the child to be exposed to something that clearly doesn't want to be. But just slowly back away and say, try to remove yourself from the situation, because it's definitely not going to get any better if it's happening. So just do your best with it. It's a tough situation. Anyone else? Yes?
Kind of the same problem. What about dealing with people who are being really aggressive? I've had that.
Oh yeah, like can you give an example of how they've been aggressive?
Well, I have one kid, his dad wanted me to go kind of meet him, and the kid literally, it was little kid, so it was okay, but he literally just pumped him and touched him in the face.
Oh gosh, that's happened a couple times.
Or I've had another person like come up and start like barking at me like you hear a dog wandering off the property.
Oh wow, yeah.
I don't know.
Did the parents do any? Did the kid that punched you? Did their parents
Yeah,
do
my
anything?
parents took him away after that. And they were like, oh, no, don't do that. And they apologized and did it.
Okay, because I've actually had an experience where like the parents would encourage the kid to be maybe not punch you in the face, but be really rough with you and mess with you. But yeah, I would pretty much do the same thing. I'd try to get out of that situation as quickly as possible. And also like if a kid is roughhousing with you, like pulling your tail or something, definitely make sure do as much as you can to make sure to let them know that that's not okay. Wag your finger or just try to do it non-verbally, and don't be really rude about it. But yeah, that's right. Yeah, just and also try to maybe that's a good thing for your handlers to take care of. They need to be on the lookout for people that are looking aggressive, or generally the most scary people to interact with are the preteen boys, because they're above that age, maybe the 9, 10, 11, 12 age range, where any younger than that, they can still pretend that you're a costume character come to life, cartoon animal come to life. But at that age, I've found that they really want to be cool. To be cool, you have to mess with people and prove that you're the tough guy. So tread with caution if you see a big group of preteen boys come up to you. Yes?
I've learned to avoid bars and drunk people.
Yes, that's definitely a good tip. Yeah, drunk people can be very malicious at times. Like then again, they can also be very fun. They can really get into the characters. But yeah, I've heard some horror stories about.
How's the noob doing? How's the noob doing?
The noob? Oh, I'm sorry. How are you doing? You're doing good? Okay. Okay, let's do some more stuff with the new guy. Let's
Alright, do his pressure.
Okay, let's see. All right, you guys. Oh, sorry. Okay, what's your first impression of being in a suit for the first time? Yeah, that. It's pretty warm in there, right? Yeah, especially because he's wearing his street clothes, so I'm sure that doesn't help. But okay, I'll have you interact with E8 here to do some more exercises. Okay, say you guys are meeting, and how would you do that? It's great to see you. Yeah, hugs are always good. Excellent. They're inventing a new form of patty cake. All right. Yeah. No, this is great too when you're interacting with people, just people in the public, because everyone knows how to play patty cake, right? So if you go up to a kid and you're figuring out what to do, what to interact with them, do something simple like that.
He's dead, Jim.
I think we have a dead rat on there.
He's dead. Who killed him?
Yeah, then again, we're going to talk a lot more about performance in the Fursuiting Beyond the Con panel as well. This was just basically meant to give you a kind of a basic overview of things to think about when you're first trying out a suit. So I think we're just about out of time. Yeah, we got 4 minutes left. So any more questions? Les? Fursuiting for Newbs? Anybody? Yes?
So, let's say you want to get a new suit and spend some serious money. How do you go about just figuring out who you want to get a commission from? How are you going to know who's going to fit your style?
Just as I said before, do your research. Go on all the websites. There's a lot of factors to consider, whether it's price or style, or even something like DigiGrade legs. We didn't talk about that, but a lot of makers do them better than others. So just take the time, really, and because I'm sure the most important thing is when you commission your suit, have a very clear picture of what you want for that character, and be sure you're able to relay that to the person that you choose. Have a really good reference sheet, as we talked about, and make sure you have everything clear cut for them. It makes their job a lot easier as well. So.
Questions. Most people will not be too bad at answering questions. If you have any doubts about anything.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, they're really good about answering, making sure that they know what you're getting and you know what you're getting. Yes.
I was just going to throw out there, I was interested in shopping around to buy a suit. I got into some YouTube videos that people make, and I thought, oh, I'll give it a try. I'm a car mechanic. I'm working with wrenches, fabricators, welding, all that. Never touched a sewing machine before in my life. I had no idea. Went over to Walmart, got their cheap $90 one, got some material, and I'm third of the way through my suit. It's actually a lot of fun. I've learned a lot. It's turned out really good. So I was really
that's
surprised
fantastic.
how
That's great.
easy it is to actually make. So
yeah,
definitely don't be afraid to try it.
Yeah, don't be afraid to try, especially if you're a hands-on guy. Like he said, he's a car mechanic. If you're that inclined, just give it a shot. It might not work out, but at least you can say you tried, and it's as he said, he's doing great. And just pick up that. You don't need a really fancy sewing machine. All you need is the Walmart. I have friends that have made many suits with that $90 Walmart machine, and it's held up very well. Do you have a question?
Does anybody have any advice or information on where there might be some tutorials on building heads?
Yeah, Matrices has one, actually. Yeah, matrices.net. Yeah, I'm sure there's other tutorials on the web as well, but hers is really good and it's free. And she'll answer any of your questions too. If you shoot her an email, and she'll get back to you. She's great about helping people. And she is here, yeah. Okay, anyone else? Okay, that's good. Thank you for attending Fursuiting for Newbs. I appreciate it. Thanks for our volunteers, and thank you to QB for running the suit as well. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to go